Hello and welcome to Ryno's Orioles Report. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I feel like I haven't gotten to say this a lot this year, but the Orioles had a very good series. Yes, they did drop the middle game, though if you really think about it, if they weren't using their, what would you consider Kyle Gibson to be, 14th or 15th option to start a game, maybe it turns out a little better. They got a few more pieces in the outfield, and let's say not injured, maybe to get the balls sooner. Maybe the game goes a little differently. And at the same time, yeah, they lost. It wasn't a blowout. So, very good series. Winning the first game and the second game out there in Anaheim, facing the Angels for the Baltimore Orioles. As you can see them on MassonSports.com, let's get to game one. Baltimore Orioles 4, Anaheim Angels 1. Yeah, after watching the series and getting some information on what's going on there and where they actually are, I'm calling them the Anaheim Angels now. I don't know why websites want to call them LA. Whatever. Mullins scuffling at the leadoff spot now, which is disappointing. Ofer Rutschman hitting second still, Ofer as well. Though he did end up reaching, which is nice. Henderson, 2 hits and 2 RBIs, walked once. Mountcastle a hit. Finally, he still needs to get going. I do think he's kind of hitting a little too far up in the lineup to not really be hitting that well. O'Hearn a hit and a walk. O'Neill, yes, that's right. Tyler O'Neill back, hitting a walk in his return. Jackson Holiday, 2 hits, an RBI, and a walk. Ramon Laureano, over, disappointing. He was producing as while being a good defensive option out there in the outfield. Hopefully this is more of a outlier, not the norm. Emmanuel, I'm going to say Ramon Rivera. Emmanuel Rivera, 2 hits and an RBI. Holiday with a double, Henderson with a triple. Henderson also with a home run. Yeah, he got the 2 harder ones. He got the 2 harder ones for a cycle. Couldn't get to hit a double. You know what? Yeah, I think it was against the Angels when he did. He would have had this cycle if he stopped at first, but he continued on at second. What year was that? Was that last year or the year before? Do not remember, actually. I think it was at the end of his first year. Tomoyuki Sagano getting the start in this game, going the longest he's ever gone, 7 1/3 of an inning. Yeah, very rare to hear that from an Oriole pitcher, or really from any pitcher. Giving up 3 hits, 1 run, no walks, 5 strikeouts. Yeah, wow. Only 3 hits and no walks. Makes you kind of wonder how the hell the Orioles lost that second game. Well, I told you why. Yanier Cano not doing his best work out there. Take you to the play-by-play here a little bit. You can see Sagano starts the 8th and he gets the ground ball. Very nice. In comes Cano. Because Sagano's getting up there in pitches now. Sagano ended up with 93 pitches. You're bringing in Cano, and it's something that I feel like a lot of us have dealt with Zach Britton. Maybe this regime just hasn't gotten it yet, but Zach Britton with too much rest, sinker didn't exactly do what you needed it to do in order for him to be as dominant as he was. So is the same thing happening with Cano? Is he getting too much rest? Yeah. I think so. You see, first man he faces, Joe Adell, does get a single. Then he walks Soler. Not great. Very disappointing. Because that's the bottom of the Angels lineup. So you flip that over the top of the lineup, you go from some of their worst hitters to their best hitter. So while you don't like that this happened, what you do like is that yes, you see 3 balls early, but then he's starting to get into the groove of thing. Maybe because he's getting tired. And that's what he needs. But again, Zach Neto, one of the Angels' best hitter, if not their best hitter, because Mike Trout is injured. Yes, lots of pitches. 13 pitches. 13. Lots of foul balls. And yeah, under my rules, this bat goes 10 and Neto is out. Because he swung at the pitch and didn't put it in play. Or you know what, he swung at the pitch and didn't get on base. Why is it so much on the pitcher to give hitters something to hit? Hitters got to put the ball in play and get on base as well. You can't just put all that on the pitcher and then make the pitcher deal with the consequences of a batter fighting off so many pitches. You really think you should be able to foul off this many pitches and keep the bat going? Because right now the rulebook says infinite. Okay, maybe it should be 5 or 6 or 7 foul balls after a full count, or really after 2 strikes, regardless of how you got those strikes. Sure, but it should not be infinite. It shouldn't be infinite. It's ridiculous. But in the end, Cano with the strikeout, and sadly that would be his last batter. Somewhat disappointing that he didn't have a better outing. Though, Aiken, how many pitches did it take Aiken? 1 to 8 pitches. Somewhat disappointing. This bullpen is now, they're blowing it. What the hell are you assholes doing? It's like sometimes you get too much rest, sometimes you're not getting enough rest, and sometimes you just come out there throwing crap. Can't hit the zone. But in the end, you get to fly out. And you get out of the inning. And you bring in Batista for his 7th save. Yeah. 2 balls. Moncada then. They labeled him as a sinker, and yeah, do think Batista has been using his other pitches a little more instead of just his fastball. Excuse me. Which is a good thing. As this injury almost made him learn how to pitch instead of just throwing out there. Okay. Looking on all 3 of these, it's kind of strange that he didn't swing, but however, man, strikeout's a strikeout. Then he gets a ground out here. Called him split. I feel like the slider here, yeah. TC using his slider more as well. You can see it was this middle at bat. Slider to start and slider that ended it. Slider getting the ground ball. I still don't like his slider. I still don't like his slider. It really comes in there just slow as shit. Maybe because all his other pitches seem to be either in the mid or high 90s. And then here comes this slider at 80 miles an hour. It's just so slow. However, it works. It works. I do kind of wish he would not throw the slider much. I guess just from what I have learned in baseball over the years, slider does put a lot more stress with its grip. It's a lot more stress on the elbow than, let's say, some of the other pitches. Not that the other pitches don't. But Batista getting the out, pitching the full 9th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Again, getting his 7th save of the year. Oh. I didn't open the other can. Damn. All right, here's game 2. Baltimore Orioles 2, Los Angeles Angels 5. Game that Gibson started, yeah. Get to some of the things I don't like in a minute. Holiday leading off. Yeah, Mullins scuffling a little bit, dropping him down in the lineup. Holiday actually hitting fairly well. Had a pretty nice game here. 1 hit and a walk. I mean, that's pretty good for your leadoff hitter. Folks behind him not doing a whole lot. Rutschman 0 for, Henderson only 1 hit. Mountcastle 2 hits and an RBI. O'Hearn 0 for, but technically with only 1 at bat because he walked twice. And O'Hearn getting this start in right field. Really don't like this. Really don't like it. I'm not exactly sure what Brandon Hyde was thinking here. Other than, oh, you got Gibson out there. He's your 15th option for a starting pitcher. Oh, I need more offense. So that means I need Kjerstad and O'Hearn out there in the lineup. Oh, and I also want to give Gunnar Henderson a day off of his feet. Okay, man. Whatever. I don't know why you had to pick that game. However, so yeah, you had O'Hearn out there right and Kjerstad in left. And you know I hate that defensive alignment. I hate it. Laureano does pinch hit for O'Hearn late in the game with a home run. Huh. There's a scoreboard out there in right field at Anaheim, the stadium. What do they call it? The Big A? I think it used to be called like Edison Field or something. What the hell is it called now? Does it say it here? Angel Stadium of Anaheim. Okay. The scoreboard's a little different and it's a little longer than, let's say, the one that's in right field at Camden Yards. But they did some crazy thing where they got the wall out there. It looks like the green padded wall or whatever. And they drew the yellow line there at the top. So if you hit the scoreboard, it's out. Even though now if you can jump up and grab it. Well, remember Laureano hit like the bottom square. Because the little pixelated thing, it's the bottom square and the square goes dark. You're breaking the scoreboard out there. That's what you get for beating us tonight. We'll break your scoreboard. Cedric Mullins, 0 for. Kjerstad, 0 for. Again, you put him in there because apparently you want to counter the fact that you have Kyle Gibson on the mound with more power in your lineup, except Kjerstad is not providing you with that power. Or the hit. Cool. Tyler O'Neill pinch hitting late. Not like he did a whole lot because he had an 0 for in 1 plate appearance. Manuel Rivera, 1 hit. Jorge Mateo walked once. Mountcastle with a double. Laureano with a home run. Yeah, Gibson gave up a few runs early in the game, and to a certain extent, I feel that had it been, let's say, Laureano out there in left field, I remember specifically where the ball landed. It is kind of hard to judge the depth watching on TV, but it appeared to be between 6 to 9 feet in front of Heston Kjerstad. A little bit to his left as well. So would, let's say, Colton Cowser have gotten it? Probably. I mean, if Cedric Mullins played left field instead of center field, yeah, I think Cedric would have definitely gotten that ball. Would have Ramon Laureano have gotten it? Tough to say. Though Laureano has made some sliding and diving catches for us. Would Brady Anderson have done it? Yeah, I think Brady Anderson would have because he made several sliding and diving catches for us. It's one spot where, let's say, having faster outfielders instead of the big power slugging, not fast guys can hurt you. Because instead of giving up 5 runs, you might have only given up 4. Right? Because that one guy doesn't get on base. He doesn't lead the game off with a hit. So what does the second guy do? Even if the second guy gets a hit or the third guy gets a hit, nobody's in yet. And you have one out. But not the case because, yeah, let's put O'Hearn and Kersad out there at the same time because that's great. Though, not that O'Neill did well because there was a ball hit to the corner. And to a certain extent, I mean, that is one of the only stadiums that I really noticed the corners being very deep. I feel like the stadium it's almost structured like this, where some of the other stadiums are structured like this, where the corners seem to be pinched in a lot further. But there at the Angels Stadium, if you hit a ball in a corner, yeah, it's definitely going to be a triple, and if you're fast enough, it could be an inside the park home run. Because Tyler O'Neill definitely went for a ball. It didn't go right to the corner, but he took the wrong route to it. And it ended up getting by him into the corner, and yeah. So, it's not like everybody plays that field that well. And again, it's to a certain extent, I think the corners are pushed out a little further than some of the other ballparks. Kyle Gibson only able to last 4 innings here. He probably had enough pitches to throw a 5th inning, but he is not exactly fully stretched out yet. Excuse me. So only the 4 innings does give up the 7 hits, the 5 runs, 3 walks, and the 4 strikeouts. Not great. Colin Selby. News on him in a minute, and I did say, it would behoove Brandon Hyde to get him in there and use him for some innings. Throwing 1 2/3 of an inning. No hits, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. So, very productive outing by Colin Selby. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for that inning in 2/3. Bye. Just as soon as you got here almost. Ciano Perez finishing out the 6th inning, getting the final out. No hits, no runs. Did walk 2 before he gets his final out. Yeah. Cool. Load the bases, why don't you? Ends up striking the guy out. Why couldn't you do that like at least one batter ago? Why you gotta go do that to us? Like you're Darren O'Day or something. Because he would do that, especially later in his time with the Orioles. It's like you come out of the pen and you're just not ready and you walk into the bases loaded. You strike everybody out to get out of the inning. What? You're driving us crazy here. Okay? Stop. Charlie Morton to finish off the game. The last 2 innings of the game. And holy shit, he didn't give up a run. It's a Christmas miracle. So Charlie Morton finishing the 7th, pitching the full 7th and the full 8th. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Well, holy shit. Why can't we get this at any other time during the how many innings, and it's not that many over your 7 starts, that you've thrown here? Or 8 starts now. Wow. Back banging on my mic here. We'll see where his spot comes up now in the future. Because as you will see, we did get one of our starters back. So even with Morton in the pen, we are at 5 starters. Now you can make the case that maybe Gibson should pitch out of the pen a little bit, and maybe Charlie Morton should start, or I mean that might be something that Brandon Hyde might consider. Let's say have Kyle Gibson throw. Well, I mean maybe have Charlie Morton start the game and pitch 2 innings, and then let Kyle Gibson go the rest of the way and try to tag team them for your 5th starter. Maybe. I don't know. We'll just have to see. But at least a half a step in the right direction for Charlie Morton. Let's get to Game 3. Baltimore Orioles 7. Anaheim Angels 3. Huh. How about that? And of course, Orioles scored 1 in the first, giving it right back in the second. Right back in the Angels' half of the first. Wonderful. I need to open this. Alright, cover your ears. Of course, it looks bad here on OBS. I don't really know exactly how that sounds for you. Gunnar Henderson leading off. Back up to his leadoff spot. It's fine. I know he's very productive up there. I want him to get all his good hits with runners on base. But sadly, it doesn't seem like the Orioles can find a leadoff hitter that can do the job as well as Gunnar Henderson. Tried Mullins. He was doing it good for a while over the past, 4 years-ish. But he gets in a slump sometime. Maybe you're getting some of these guys back healthy like an O'Neill, Westberg, and Arias maybe in a week or two. Things change a little bit, hopefully. Henderson, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, while striking out 3 times. That's interesting, but okay. Tyler O'Neill over, not the greatest series in his return, but in this game he walked twice, which is... that's as good as 2 base hits. It really is. Mountcastle, apparently he likes hitting the Angels. 2 hits and an RBI, also walked once. Rutschman DH, which I hate. But however, 2 hits and an RBI. Do feel like that was probably an opportunity to get Kjerstad some at-bats, seeing as how with O'Neill back he's going to get less. But however, Ramon Laureano getting the start out there instead of Kjerstad. Didn't get a hit, but did walk once. Struck out 3 times. Probably batting him a little too high in the lineup. He's not really a 5th place hitter. He's really not. Of course, who else would you put in there? Holiday, Ofer. Emmanuel Rivera, Ofer as well. Walked once. Cedric Mullins, 2 hits. Son of a bitch. We put you damn near last in the lineup. It's where you're getting all the hits. We put you up leadoff. You don't get that many hits. Make up your mind. Maverick Hanley got his first hit. He was the last series, the series before. Gets his first 2 RBIs in the major leagues. Congratulations to him. 1 on a sacrifice fly and 1 on a suicide squeeze. Yes. The Baltimore Orioles with the suicide squeeze. However. Mullins with a double, Rutschman with a triple. That's what I'm saying with the corners in there. And the way the way the ballpark is constructed. And at the same time with some of these walls, if you're an outfielder and you go back on the wall and you misplay it or you miss it, it's going to hit the wall and it's going to come back, and it's a very spacious park. That's how people like Rutschman get triples. Henderson home run, also hitting the scoreboard again. Hit the scoreboard. If he didn't hit the scoreboard with he's hit the scoreboard a few times in his career. At least 2 so far in his young career. I lost track of which home run exactly was the one he hit the scoreboard on, but he's hit it a few times. Mullins and Laureano with steals. Nice. Zach Eflin getting the start in this game. Yes, as I mentioned, Colin Selby not here anymore. Why is my phone buzzing so much? People, leave me alone. Doing something. Colin Selby. As I mentioned, yes, I was alluding to it, that Eflin was very close to a return. Yes, the odd man out person with options, Colin Selby. Came in through, got got 5 very nice outs for us. But Eflin's one of the guys we needed back, so he needs to send away. Well, anybody that has options, you don't want to send them away, and everybody else that you might want to send to the minor leagues either can't because, let's say, they're major league service time, or they don't have options. So we'll delay that decision for now, though barring another injury, that decision is going to be coming up real soon. Zach Eflin in his return only threw 83. Not going to push him any further than that because of his long layoff. 5 innings pitched, does go up 5 hits and 2 runs and 2 walks, 5 strikeouts. It's not a bad line for a starting pitcher coming off of an injured list. It's certainly not the best, but it's useful. You kept us in the game. You kept the Orioles in the game for 5 innings. Can't really ask for too much more. So Anthony Dominguez coming out, doing his job, getting some things right, pitching the full 6th inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. There you go. Did we really go another series without seeing Soto? That's somewhat concerning. Because Soto didn't pitch in Game 1, he didn't pitch in Game 2, and he doesn't pitch in Game 3. Whatever, Brandon Hod. Whatever, man. I guess apparently you know what the hell you're doing more than I do, but it does seem weird to see Soto not pitching an entire 3-game series. It's weird. Without us being told that he's injured somehow. But whatever. Brian Baker in and pitching the full 7th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Yanier Cano in for the full 8th inning. No hits, no runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. Well, damn, bullpen. That's how you come in there and shut shit down. And then leave it to Felix Bautista to break the scoreless streak of the bullpen and give up runs. I'm sorry, run. Singular. And again, not even a save situation. So it doesn't really matter. I don't like where he threw the pitch. As far as I can tell, Maverick Hanley did set up on the inside of the plate. It wasn't inside off the plate. It was inside on the plate. You don't throw fastballs low to right-handed hitters there. You don't. I'm sorry. Because you don't go down and get it, extend their hands, put a butt ton of power into the swing, and do that. And you know what? They don't need to put a butt ton of power into the swing because Bautista is supplying a lot of the power. So what happens? It's a home run. It's a no-doubter home run. I mean, I understand why you think you can never throw a fastball in that spot, or why you think you have to throw a fastball in that spot. If we never throw fastballs in that spot, then how does splitters work in that location? Well, you bring it up and a little in more, right? I mean, if you put the fastball middle thigh to belt area, that is a little higher up in the zone. You aim the splitter there, and it's going to drop out of the zone. You don't really want to go that much lower. Not inside anyway. But somewhat inconsequential because that one run does nothing. Except put a blemish on the books. Felix Bautista pitching the full 9th inning. First time he's pitched twice in a series this year. Not back-to-back, but twice in a 3-game series. Doesn't give up the hit, the run, but no walks, 1 strikeout. He is nearing his return. Let's see what the play-by-play tracking his some of the numbers at. 96. He's saying calling sinker 97, 96, splitter 87, which didn't seem right. I feel like usually a splitter's in the low 90s, not the high 80s. Don't know if that is a concern or not. Another slider here. Yeah, see? Will it tell you? See? Right here. This is a right-handed batter, so he's over here on this side of the plate. You don't throw fastballs here. This is not where you put fastballs to a right-handed hitter. No. Because they go, see, home run. You just don't do that. If it's higher, he can't extend his hands as well. And even if he does extend his hands, it's more likely that he's way out in front of the ball, therefore not going to stay fair. But however, got 98.5 here. I'm at 98.5, 98. So, somewhat consistent, 98 with the four-seam fastball. That's, I mean, it's not completely back to where he was. Now, you know, I mean, could his stride be a little shorter? Could he really not be all the way back? Is he trying not to throw as hard because he doesn't want to blow his arm out again? Yes, it's not 100, but differences in radar guns, you know, they don't exactly all read the exact same. Can I live with 98 or 98.5? Yes, I can. If you choose better pitches and better execution, like stop throwing four-seam fastballs right here in this spot. However, you get out of the inning and you win the series. Cool. Woohoo. How about that? We're still 9 games below 500. Not too much to celebrate about. Let's get some of these articles here. Some of the things that have happened. This article written by Brendan Mortensen. Yes, Tyler O'Neill back. And who got sent away? Well, it wasn't Kjerstad and it wasn't Liriano. And even though we didn't see Carlson this series, it wasn't Carlson. It was Kobe Mayo, which does kind of make the most sense. Because with Rivera up here actually hitting, you can't... Where do you find spot in a lineup for Kobe Mayo? Maybe you find a few spots DHing. Of course, then where you put in Kjerstad. So, I'm sure Kobe Mayo ain't happy about it. Well, maybe he should either hit when he gets the opportunity, or you know what? Stop booting balls in the infield. You didn't play defense well, you didn't hit well. That's why you're not here. Go back in the minors and work on it again. Sorry, buddy. This article here written by Rock Kubatko talking about Bowman. Bowman was actually sent away last series to get Colin Selby. This article here saying that Bowman has cleared waivers and staying with the organization. So good news for us. It's kind of odd that he cleared waivers. Maybe the teams didn't like whatever compensation they had to send the Orioles' way, but I feel like Matt Bowman could have benefited somebody, provided they had a spot on the roster anyway. It is early, so a lot more spots are probably taken up by certain clubs anyway. Oh well. This article here saying Zach Eflin back activated from the IL. Colin Selby, the one chosen to be optioned. I'm sorry, that article written by Rock Kubatko. This article as well, Rock Kubatko, talking about Kittredge and Andrew Kittredge and Trevor Rogers. Kittredge having another outing in the minor league for his rehab assignment. No reported setbacks, so that's cool. Trevor Rogers, apparently much like Chase McDermott, either last series or series 4, finishing his rehab assignment and being outrighted to the minors. So it does sound like getting some pieces off the injured list. Chase McDermott and Trevor Rogers are now options to bring up for a starting pitcher now. Are they better than, let's say, Brandon Young, who actually, Brandon Young was placed on the injured list? I don't know. I didn't see that article or even remember. When the hell was that? Anyway, we've seen Trevor Rogers and Trace McDermott start for this team a few times. It hasn't gone great, though. That was, what, middle of the year last year, so some progression in that department, so maybe we could, well, you got 6 starting pitchers technically on the roster as it is, so will we see them anytime soon? I sure as hell hope not, because if we do, that means somebody injured, and no more of that. But Kittredge, I did allude to earlier in the video that, yeah, going to need another decision because Selby was the one that had options. Nobody else really does. Kittredge is close. He's had, 3 outings in the minor leagues. 2 with Norfolk, 1 with Aberdeen. I mean, they've all gone well. I mean, he's not out there pitching like Cy Young or anything, but he's pitching to the point where his rehab assignment's going to end soon. I want to say a week-ish time, and I mean, they're going to have to activate him. So, don't know who's going to get sent away at that point, but we do have at least a series or 2 until that decision needs to be made. So, be on the lookout for that. All right, let's get to scheduling stuff, and let's get out of here. Off day Monday. Orioles will be back in Camden Yards Tuesday, starting a 3-game set with the Minnesota Twins. Yes, those guys again. Playing these guys at the wrong time, but home game for us, coming off a series win, so hopefully turning things around. Tuesday's game is scheduled for 6:35. Wednesday's game scheduled for 6:35. Thursday's game scheduled for 12:35. Cool. Wonderful. No off day Friday. Playing the Nats this weekend. So that will do it for this edition of Ryno's Orioles Report. Please stay tuned for Friday, and I will discuss the series between the Baltimore Orioles and the Minnesota Twins. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm the Angry Ryno, and this is Birdland.